Hello, everybody. This is Omar Oropesa, SNSD from Miami Lakes, Florida, and I'm here to talk to you about recruiting and building, okay? Just in case you had slight amnesia and you don't remember this, I just want to remind you, right? We are in the recruiting and distribution business. That is our primary business. Now, I know we make a lot of money writing life insurance, and we make a lot of money doing investments and mortgages and prepaid legal and all the other products that they will bring us in the future. But understand and remember why you joined this business. And if you were brutally honest with yourself, right, you didn't join this business because, oh man, I want to write life insurance. That's unbelievable, man. I don't know anybody that grows up with that in their mind, right? But when you heard the presentation, you had this little dream that turned you on about maybe you can own a business where you'll write hundreds of people, thousands of people maybe, right? Because you were dreaming big back then, right? And then something happened. You got comfortable. You learned the business. You could close products. You became more of a producer than a recruiter and a builder because you didn't want to deal with people. You just want to go do your business, make your money, because we can make a lot of money not recruiting people. But long term, that freedom, that opportunity that everybody craves. I don't care if you tell me, no, I'm really happy working every day. Okay, I'm going to call BS on that, right? Because eventually, if you built this business the right way and that override stream of income comes in and you have total freedom, your life changes. Not only your life changes, but your wife, kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, for generations to come. I mean, we've watched it happen in our business where kids have taken over the business of their parents and their kids have taken over the business. So it's a multi-generational thing if you recruit and grow distribution, right? You don't want to leave your kid a job, right? You want to leave them a business. So I want you to understand that the personal producers, I want you guys to get engaged, man, because you could be the best recruiters in the company because you already know how to close everything. All recruiting is closing one more transaction, an IBA, handling one more objection, right? Leading the client or the prospect towards the right outcome, right? Just like we do with all of our products. This is really our best product. This is our greatest product. I mean, if when they recruited me 29 plus years ago, right? If all they would have did was write me an IRA account and I would have opened one up for $25 a month back then, that was all I had, right? Would that have really changed my life the way it changed my life that they recruited me and gave me a business opportunity? My uplines answered all my dumb questions, all my annoying questions as a new rep, but they understood this. Answer all the questions, do all the work, love all over them, teach them, train them, and eventually they become a profit machine. It's like owning Coca-Cola machines. Everywhere you go, you're overriding. Every time everybody buys a drink, you get a check, right? So it's like that in business. So I want to talk to you about starting a 90-day recruiting surge. 90-day recruiting surge. I know over the last 5 years, we've had tremendous years in the business, and a lot of people, they're up like this, right? Or like this even, right? And the recruiting has exploded. The number of licensed reps we have are at an all-time record, and all that's great, but I know we got a lot more in us. So I want you to look at a 90-day recruiting surge. Don't be happy where you're at, okay? Have bigger goals, bigger aspirations, bigger dreams. Take it to the next level. Help Primerica take it to the next level, right? So I'm going to go over with you what I would do if it was me, because I've done this 90-day surge a couple times in my career. And it's a lot of work, okay? Nobody wants to hear that. Everyone wants to hear, can I just wave a wand, sprinkle some Omar dust on you, and you're just going to explode your business? No. But if you're willing to do the work, I'm telling you, you will get the results. So here's what I would do. Number one thing I would do is I would take my telephone. My telephone, I looked last night, I had 2,982 contacts on it. Right? That's a lot of contacts. Now, I don't want you to write down 2,900 plus names. I want you to go through there, and I want you to get 50 names of people that you really, really like, that you know they're credible, and that if they would work with you, you would love it. But don't judge whether they're going to work with you or not, okay? Get that out of your mind. They're probably already clients of yours maybe. They already kind of know what you do, or they think that they know what you do, but you call them. And this is what you tell them. You say, hey, Joseph, I need your help. I need you to let me meet with you for an hour. I want to give you what I call a recruiting presentation. I know in your mind you already know what I do. You're already a client, so you have a good idea. But I want to go strictly, purely business opportunity, 1 hour with you, tell you about all of our business partners we have. Like you probably don't know, we have Rocket Mortgage now as one of our primary mortgage lenders, and we got all the top investment companies. But I want to go over who works with us, who the business partners are, exactly what we do. I want to go over the F&A with you. Then I want to go over compensation with you, how we get paid, how the override structures work, how the residual incomes, how we can build you a real business. And at the end of that, if you're not interested, no problem. I'm not going to pressure you into that. I want to do advertising and marketing of my business. That's why I'm calling you. I want to go market my business to you. Why? Because you know a lot of good people that I don't know. You've got close buddies and relatives of yours that I've never met before. And you like me and trust me, and I like you and trust you. And if you could help me in my business, I know you would. So it's very important to me. It would really mean a lot to me if you give me 1 hour in the next week. I know you're busy, I'm busy, I'll work around your schedule, and I just really, really need your help. Will you help me out? Now, if you ask like that, think about it. You don't do that. Number one, I know nobody does that. You know what you do? You ring up strangers that you hardly know, lukewarm, you go cold. So you're doing an uphill battle from the get-go. The time and energy that it takes you to build credibility with a stranger, you already have with all these people. And so if you go talk to them like a friend, like a real friend, you're not going there to write them a product, you're not even going there to recruit them, although you'd like to recruit them. You want to go and talk to them like you own a business and you want them to help you expand your business. And so that's what I did. And let me give you an example. There was a girl named Denise that I grew up with. Middle school, I knew her. High school, I knew her. In college, she was very well-known. She had a good personality and very credible, but she's an artsy person. She's a writer, and I knew Primerica probably wasn't up her alley, but I was marketing my business. I was advertising my business. See, what I tell you to do, it's not just words, it's what I've done over the years. So I went to Denise and I called her, hey, Denise, and I used that script. She said, sure, come over. So I go over and I give her the whole shebang. She wasn't interested. Did I let that get me down? No. Do most people let him get him down? Yes. You gotta brush that off your shoulder, man. So I asked Denise, after you heard this, is there anybody that came to your mind like they would definitely want to do this or at least look at it, entertain it? She says, yes, my good friend Frank. And I said, do you have enough credibility with Frank that if you called Frank right now with me here and you asked him, Frank, my buddy Omar that I've known for all these years, he's expanding his business and marketing his business, and I told him as a personal favor to me, you would meet with him an hour. Do you have enough credibility where he actually would meet with me an hour? She said, absolutely. She calls him, lines up the appointment. I go meet with him. Now, here's where a lot of you guys mess up. Oh, but I don't want to meet with him. I want to meet with him and his wife. Why? Because you want to write a product. That's why you want to meet with him and his wife. I want to recruit him, and I know if I recruit him, the next step is I'm going to meet with his wife, right? So you have to create activity. Everybody asks me, what's Willie doing, and Miguel and Diana and Joe? They go on appointments, right? You guys, most people, not you, but most people look for ways to avoid appointment. Well, I couldn't get a meeting with him and his wife. Well, do you want to recruit him? Yeah, well, go meet with him. Lay it out there. If the guy's interested, we're going to meet with the wife next. It's just an extra step. So I go meet with this guy, Frank, very nice guy. He wasn't interested. Did I let it get me down? No. Now that's two. Denise, not interested. Frank, not interested. I asked Frank the exact thing because he liked me, because I gave him a good presentation, educational presentation. We, laughed, hit it off. I asked him, is there anybody you know, Frank, that would be interested? He actually said, my business partner, Ray. I said, can you get me a meeting with Ray? He goes, I could get you one like right now because he's in the office right next door. I said, that'd be great. So he walks me to Ray's office and he gives Ray the whole, this is Omar, he's good buddies with Denise, who's my dear friend. He gave me his presentation. I think it'd be right up your alley, Ray. So Ray lets me in his office and I recruit Ray. So I went Denise, strike one, Frank, strike two, Ray, not strike three. I recruited him, but he didn't really do much. But what did I get out of him? A Max Premium Life app because we ran their F&A, we opened investments, we did college accounts, and he led me to Wayne Luke. Wayne Luke is now an SVP in our business, has ownership. I've overridden him for like 28 years, so God knows how much money I've made in overrides. And then Wayne led me to Damien, and then Damien led me to Joe Ortiz, who's $1 million earner today. And Joe was Wayne's replacement. So I want you to expand, stop thinking small and start thinking big, right? All these people you know, you're not maximizing their markets. You're not maximizing your relationships. Because out of Denise's friendship, I got Wayne Luke, who's a direct SVP, ownership, 300 grand earner. I got Joe Ortiz as his replacement. That's a direct $1 million NSD. How much have I made over the last 28 years overriding Joe and Wayne? I don't know the number, but it's a lot. And then under Joe, we got $1 million earners like Gus Gonzalez, Willie Naranjo, Miguel Illich, Diana Macias. We have a lot of them. George and Mary, Lorenzo and Daniela, Fatima, Rosia. We have like all these $1 million. They all came from me making a decision to go market and advertise my business. And I don't mean advertising in flyers and newspapers and all that. I mean eyeball to eyeball, kneecap to kneecap, calling people that I knew and trust and loved, and they know and trust me. See, you don't want to do that because you're scared to get rejected. Oh, but they're going to reject me. Guess what? If they do, they don't really like you. If they won't let you over their house to give you a 1-hour presentation, you got to question yourself. Do they really like you? Are you really their friend? Because if it was reversed, and any time that I even got a slight objection like that, I would give them, man, if it was you asking me to give you 1 hour of my time and that's all you needed, I would definitely do it for you. Wouldn't you do it for me? You look them in the eyeball, it's different. You want to do text or WhatsApp or email a person, right? You don't get the exact results, man. You got to get on the telephone, call them, talk to them, maybe even drop in on them. Eyeball to eyeball is even better. So anyways, that one example has made me a ton of money. And so the example is really drill deep. We don't drill deep. I hear all these people talking about recruiting directs. I recruited 12 directs this month. Great. When you recruited number 12, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8 already quit, right? So recruiting directs is hard and takes a lot of work. We're not getting the depth under the directs. I'm not telling you to not recruit directs. I don't want you to go say, Omar said we don't have to recruit that. That ain't what I said. But if you recruit 3 to 5 directs a month. And then with those directs, you start locking them in and you start getting recruits underneath those people. And you're involved in training and licensing and developing all those people. Now you're anchoring them in the business, right? A guy is less likely to quit if they got 11, 12 licensed reps on their team that you recruited and trained and licensed for them. And if he does quit, you're not left with nothing because there's 11, 12 licensed reps that you recruited and trained under him. So if the lead guy quits, weenies out or whatever, you got all these new people that roll up to you direct. You get actually wider. It's a win-win. Everybody wins if everybody works. So you got to understand that you've got to drill deep. I'm going to use the oil example. Not that I live in Texas, not that I know anything about the oil business, but just using some basic common sense. They have these big machines that drill into the land and strike oil, right? I could imagine every one of those, imagine them like a direct recruit. And the land is like their warm market. And I can envision when they're drilling deep, they don't drill 12 inches and then go, oh, there's no oil here. Let's move everything. Let's close up, guys, and move everything. No. I'm sure they drill deep until they either strike oil or realize the land is dry and there is no oil, right? So in recruiting, you need to recruit deep. If I recruit you, we need to recruit people underneath them. And we've created the Sprint District bonus to do that. Because if I recruit you, my number one job is to get you a bonus. And to do that, I got to recruit 3 people on your team. And I have to do premium, and I got to train you and license you, but I have to recruit 3 people on your team. That is the goal. We're not doing that part, because if we did that, our recruiting would explode. It would explode, okay? And so that's one area we really need to work on. So let's just say you started with a list of, say, 50 names. On average, in our hierarchy, we recruit 1 out of every 4. So if you do, 10 presentations, you're gonna get between 2 recruits, 3 recruits. You do 20 presentations, you're gonna get 5 recruits. So if you got 50 names off of your list and you use the script that I gave you earlier, and you went to do 50 appointments, you're gonna get 12 recruits. Now, in your mind, you go, oh, it's a lot of work to get 12. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot less work than if you were trying to recruit cold, because at least these recruits, when you recruit them, there's kind of a relationship. Either you know a person that they know, right? So the trust is already kind of there. You're not developing a relationship from scratch. So out of those 12 new recruits, you got to write it all out to visualize it. But if you got 12 recruits, are they all going to get to Sprint District? No, we know. 4 of them will go missing right away. You'll be drinking milk, and on the milk carton, it'll literally have their a picture. Have you seen this person? You're like, hey, that's my recruit, right? He's missing, right? 4 of them are gone. 4 of them, they'll want to get licensed. They will be professional licensed people. They'll want to get all the and then 4 ought to tell you, let's rock and roll. I want that Sprint District bonus check. I want to learn this business. So with those 4 recruits, if you got them to Sprint District, and each Sprint District requires how many recruits? 3 recruits, that's another 12 recruits. So you have those 12 recruits to the 12 you got, and I'm talking about a 90-day surge starting, right? So you get your 12 and 12, you got 24 recruits. Now that scares the crap out of small RVPs. That scares people that are below RVP when they're districts, divisions, and they're recruiting 5 people a month, 4 a month, 3 a month. They go, 24. And I know it scares you because it used to scare me when I was at that level, until I made a decision one time to actually go do it. And I recruited 23 recruits in July of '02. I remember the month because I told my wife that I would do it, and I was gonna do it no matter what. And I worked my butt off. I was exhausted every day, had no voice because I was out giving presentations. It was really, really a lot of work, but I did it. Out of those recruits that were recruited in July '02, I got 5 RVPs today. They're RVPs today that were recruited from that month, or that those recruits led me to those recruits, right? So if you get out of your comfort zone and you make a decision that you're gonna go do this, you have to break it down. Like, watch. 50 appointments at 1 hour each, 50 hours. 50 hours of work. 12 people, 4 of them get to Sprint District, take 15 hours per Sprint District. So if you get 4 of them, 60 minutes plus the 50 minutes, round it up to 120 hours, not minutes, hours. 120 hours if you're full-time, F-U-L-L time, not F-O-O-L time, not full-time, full-time. 120 hours, that's a month. What would happen to your business if you were involved in 24 recruits in the next month, right? Not your team, not your districts, not your division, you, the leader, did all this work that I'm talking about, worked your butt off, 120 hours, and you got 24 recruits in a month. What would that do to everybody around you? All your districts, divisions, they would watch what you're doing, like, man, Omar's making it happen. It would elevate them all a little bit, right? What else would it do? Your confidence would go up. Your belief would go up, right? Your energy, because It's getting the work done. You have this in your mind thing that is so painful and gonna hurt. But when you actually do it, it's a blast. You have a good time. You got all these new recruits on your team. You're having fun, meeting new people. You're closing apps. It's unbelievable. You have a good time. And then what do? How do you keep the recruiting going? Well, for every one of them new recruits that you got under those new sprint districts, you do the exact thing with them. You get 20 names, their top 20 names. You don't let them give you names. You sit down and invest time, and you ask them questions like, hey, in your wedding, who was your best man? Oh, my best man was my brother. Is your brother, does he got a wife and kids? Oh, yeah. Does he live local? Yeah. Okay, we ain't visiting nobody else other than your brother first, because if you chose your brother to stand next to you as your best man, why would we go visit anywhere else? We need to go advertise and market our business to your brother first. Who else walked in your wedding? And I start asking all these questions. Who was the maid of honor? As you look out into the audience at your wedding, who was in row 1? Who was in row 2? Super Bowl parties. Who do you watch the game with every year? Like, even people that don't watch football go to parties every year to watch Super Bowls. Who do you go hang out with? It's usually the exact people. I ask questions like, do you do Christmas Eve dinner or do you do Christmas dinner? Well, I do Christmas Eve dinner. Who's usually there? Who's there Christmas Eve every year for the last 20 years, right? And you make sure you get them 20 names. Now you go do those 20 appointments. Now remember what I told you earlier. You're gonna recruit one out of every 4. So if you do 20 appointments and you recruit one out of every 4, 5 recruits. Looks small. But now if you do the 20 names each with those 5 recruits, now you got 100 names, or what I call 100 opportunities. 100 opportunities, none of them are cold. They're all the warmest market of those new recruits. Remember, this is a warm market business, not your warm market forever. Your warm market runs out, but it's a warm market business. You recruit people, you're in their warm market, you recruit more people, you're in their warm market. So now you got 100 opportunities. You go on 100 appointments. You're gonna recruit one out of every 4. How many recruits is that? 25. Still looks small, but 25 times 20 names, 500 opportunities. You do that again, you recruit 125 times 20 names is 2,500 opportunities. By the time you get there, you would have created enough recruiting momentum, enough licensing momentum, enough sprint district momentum, enough production momentum. Your cash flow would be up, your confidence would be through the roof, your belief level would be sky high. Those of you around, everybody around you would be watching the changes in you as a leader. Listen, it starts with you. That's the hardest part. Because you listen to all this, like, yeah, Omar, it's easy for you to. It wasn't easy when I was this Omar, earning what I make today, having the hierarchy that I have today. When I stuttered every word and I was struggling in the business and I made a decision to go do this stuff, it was harder for me to do than it would ever be for you to do. So I don't take any excuses from anybody. But if you have the desire to do it, write the word down, desire to do it. If you have the optimism to really make your list, write the word optimism. If you have the courage to make the calls, write the word courage. The courage to make the calls, use the script, be direct, tell them you need their help. Don't let your pride get in the way of getting the appointments. If you've got the discipline, write down the word discipline, to go through the opportunity. If you have the tenacity to drill deep, baby, drill, go down deep. And if you have faith that if you do what I tell you to do and you do it long enough and you don't stop and you're relentless, you're gonna win big. You're gonna win bigger than you could ever imagine. I have leaders in the company that have done this and they tell me, oh my gosh, Omar, it worked. I said, of course it does. There's no way this won't work. The only thing that can stop it is you. And what happens a lot of time is the RVPs or the reps that start doing it, they start doing it for like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they start getting a little momentum and they start getting a little recruits and they stop doing it because they got these little group of new recruits and they stop. You gotta create a little chaos in your business. A little organized recruiting chaos. Because with chaos comes winners. You're gonna recruit people that you don't know, but they're gonna come in and look at the opportunity. They're gonna want action. They're gonna wanna do it. They're gonna want what you got. Guys, I'm telling you, 90-day surge. If your recruiting numbers are up, unbelievable, great. If you're flat, unbelievable, great. If you're down, unbelievable, great. None of that matters. What matters is what you do in the next 90 days. So you create your 90-day surge and your path to greatness. I hope that helps you guys.